previously.
I'm going to install a reversing camera. There you are, reversing camera with the parking sensor display on the side here. Now that I've got CarPlay here, I can use Waze or Google Maps. I now have an Amazon Fire Stick installed. From 8 speakers to 14 speakers. And here is the complete kit. We have, well, taken everything out. So we've got the amp, it's all fully tidied up, and it's a very nice clean install.
3 weeks later.
Right, so the next thing I want to do in this car, being that we've got all of this open, I've got the access, so figure why not, is a phone holder. So as you can see, the dash is surprisingly, for a small car, laid out quite nicely. But the only thing is, there's nowhere to really put your phone. I know I've got the Apple CarPlay up there, and that works great, and I can have Waze working up there wirelessly. But what if I want to charge my phone? Do I fumble around with cables, and where do I stash the phone? So I looked into it, and the recommended charger for this car is what they call an OEM mount, and it basically sits in sort of about this area here, in between the vents. So here is the OEM mount that I bought. So it's got these 2 giant holes, looks like glasses. So the vents will sit there and there, and it's got this little knobby thing that sticks out. And onto that you get the mount of your choice. So because I have an iPhone 13, I bought the wireless Magsafe mount, and this is an actual charger as well. So along the side somewhere, right there, there is a USB-C connector, and it comes with a USB-C cable right here. So now I will install this, but before I do, where am I going to plug this into to get power? And so I have come up with this idea. Now this basically changes voltage input to 2 USB outputs, and I can then plug in the phone and another optional extra of my choice. So here's the wire, and it drops down, goes behind the stereo into the dash, and what I've done is I've wired it up to the double USB port, which I've wired up to the fuse box on this side. So that is now permanently powered, and if I just grab my phone, I can just chuck it on there, and that's it, it's charging. So yeah, it works really well. Again, if I sit in what would be my driving position, so around here, that screen isn't being blocked by this one, which is great. And obviously, as it's a wireless charger, a Magsafe charger, I can just slap it on in any angle I want, and yeah, it will charge up perfectly fine. Now, as much as I love the front end of the A1, there is just one other thing that I've been wanting to do to it, and it doesn't just apply to the front. So we received this giant box from TRC, and this has a few special parts in it. All right, so there we have the front splitter laid out. On this side we've got the side skirts, and it's got these tiny little rear spats, but these will just literally line up like so under here. It just sticks out ever so slightly, and they'll improve the look of the car. It doesn't look like much at the moment, but once it's fitted, they will look awesome. And there you have it, the TRC splitter kit. How aggressive does that look now? So you have the front the sides, all the way down, and the rears. Right. The rest of the kit wasn't that hard to install. The front was an absolute pain, but well worth it. What do you guys think? Do you like it? What do you think?
I'm loving it, mate. Absolutely loving it.
Ba, 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 ba. I'm loving it. Yes. That's another one ticked off the list. What's next?
Open up the bag of goodies, mate.
The bag of goodies back there. Well, we'll decide. We'll come back with an answer soon.
72 hours later.
So in front of me here is the grey headliner that we removed from the car. And it's got all the little pillar pieces. So that goes over on the back pillar, the C pillar as we call it. That's where the seatbelt runs through on the middle. And then these are the fronts that go by the windscreen with the little speakers in it. And obviously the whole roof itself. So this is what we removed from the car. And to be honest, I don't like it at all. I prefer the black headliner. And here I've got a collection of all the little black pieces. So I've got the B pillars where the seatbelt goes through. Got the front roof module, the A pillar with the speakers in them. And of course, these are the Bose speakers. So these are part of the upgrade. Got the rear pillar over there. We even have the sun visors and the grab handles. Need a bit of a wipe to clean it up, but we've got that. The one piece we're missing here is the main headliner. And that's because Andre here, well, Andre and I have been quite busy. We've installed a full Starlight roof fiber kit. So on the roof here, Andre's just finishing up.
Last one.
The very last one. We've installed 400 LED fiber strands over the whole roof. They're not finished, as you can see, he's still stranding them up. So if we have a look at what they look like underneath, you can see it's a big hairy mess. Now that will all be cut down and cleaned out, and when it's finished, you'll see a beautiful LED Starlight roof. But this is what it looks like. It's very labor intensive. We've been here, what now, 4 hours?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Almost 4 hours planning this all out. All the little orange dots are where we've sort of laid it out. So it looks quite even. We didn't overdo it in one area. We had some extra strands and he's been filling in between the gaps. But yeah, this will look awesome. So Starlight roof is almost done. We still need to glue and cut the strands. And then we can mount it into the car, get it up there on the top of that roof. We can mount all the pillars as well. We can put all the pillar pieces back on. We can strap the seat belts back into place because that runs through the B pillar and so on. Get the full roof line all built back up.
Still a way to go.
Still a way to go indeed. Right, let's finish this off and get this in the car.
That's it, let's do it.
Now, while I have the headliner out, there is one other mod that I wanted to add, and that is an upgrade to the standard mirror that came in the car. Now, this is the auto dimming mirror, which has the button there to make the glass go dark if there's a lot of light coming through the back window. And with the new headliner, I received a black version of the auto dimming mirror. However, this thing also has the high beam assist camera. Now, if it's dark and there's no light in front of the car, you can flick the high beam on, and this will make sure the high beam stays on until it sees the light, i.e. a car, or if you're driving through a village or something that has street lights, it will see that and it will dip the high beam down, not to blind anyone. And then again, once it goes dark and this sees there isn't enough light coming towards it, it will flip the high beam back up. Really good mod. And for me to add it in this car, all I really need to do is add one wire and a bit of code. So let's get the wiring done. And there you have it. So you can see the mirror there installed with the camera facing out the front of the windscreen. And inside, there's your mirror. Now you can actually see the high beam assist function working. So we just flick on the ignition there. Right, so if I now flick on the full beam, you can see right there, it has the icon for the full beam with an A next to it to show it's automatic. And if I flick it on again, then the high beam now activates. So to get manual high beam, you flick it twice, put it back into automatic mode, and now the camera on the back of the mirror is responsible. So I wanted to show you guys something real quick. That's the Bose amp there, and that's all wired in, that's all working perfectly fine. And the Bose sub should live here beside the battery. Now, my car had this toolkit, this foam toolkit that sat deep in that battery well, and as you can see, it shapes itself around the centerpiece here, the battery. But if I remove this real quickly for you guys, now the Bose sub takes up half the space, and that would mean that I would lose this toolkit with all its tools. So I looked on the system to see what happens in this situation. If you have a Bose sub, how does this fit together? How does that work? And what I found is another toolkit that Audi sell that fits in this little space here. Now this is the actual toolkit itself. I managed to find this from a breaker's yard. This literally will just go down in there and it's strapped into place. There's a strap underneath that, so I'll strap that in. So if I just put the cover on, that's that sitting over the amp. And now you've got this sort of dugout area here. So right here is the indent of where the boot carpet sits that covers all of this space, and it rests on top of this cover. Now there's quite a drop off after it, and when I was looking into this piece, I found out that in this area you would actually fit a spare wheel. Now the car didn't come with a spare wheel from the auction site, so I have actually looked around and I found one, and I've ordered it, but it hasn't arrived as yet. So when it comes, I will stick the spare wheel in here. Now I normally thought once you put the spare wheel on, that carpet floor goes on top of it. But again, checking the system, it turns out there's another piece that goes on top. So I contacted Audi and I managed to find the part. I ordered it. So this is the part itself, and it sits like so. So that would sit on top of the spare wheel, and it's got a couple of extra little compartments, and now on top of this, again, that indent, it will run right the way across to this side indent, and that is where the boot carpet would sit on top of that. So another cool little upgrade with a few more compartments that I had no idea of. And so while we're here, there is one other thing I've noticed. Now on this side, I've got this quite cool LED light, but on this side, just a weird little indent. No light, no cutout, just this funny piece of plastic. So I've got an idea, oh, the light's gone out, but I've got an idea that I can, well, basically cut that out, put a light in there, and have a light on either side of my boot. Right, so there you go. I now have two boot lights. The second one's been added. Looks completely factory. Now, I don't know if it comes up on camera, if you guys can see it, but that light is brighter than the stock standard one. And that's because I've put an upgrade bulb in there. Now, if you remember from the last episode, I had the fog light bulb supplied by Troops from EM Tuning, and he also supplied me with some interior light bulbs. So the bulb in here has the same shape and dimensions of a factory Audi bulb, but is just so much brighter compared to the stock one. Now again, the camera might be picking up a bit of glare, but standing in front of it, I can see how much brighter that one is. So now I'm going to change up the bulb on this side so that it matches the same brightness of that side. And that way we can have a much brighter lit boot. So here is the LED itself. Now it's just one single LED on the board, and I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but right at the bottom there, it does actually say EM tuning on it. It's quite hard to pick up on this sort of focus. But this is a straight direct replacement for that one. And if I just prop the camera down, I'll show you guys how easy it is to replace this bulb out. I literally just remove the old bulb by taking out the bulb holder, open up the case, and that there is the original Audi one. Now all of the original Audi LED boards are green. So there you are. That's the green board from Audi. It's a standard LED chip. This is the upgrade unit from EM Tuning. You can't really see much in it. The thing I know is that that is an LED, whereas this is using an SMD, so a bit brighter. So all I literally have to do now is just pop this in, instantly brighter, and just pop it back into place. Done. What an upgrade. So now that is so much brighter now. Hopefully that will be enough. I can add more lights to the boot if I wanted to make it even more brighter. I have done that on my other cars, but for the time being, this is quite a small boot, so I think this should be enough. Now look at that. How cool does that look? Now we've obviously got it in turquoise here. We can set it to red, green, blue, white. White is pretty cool if I'm honest. Really classy. Tell you what, turn off the lights. Now, there you go, you can see it better. How nice is that? You can pick a whole host of different colors. Comes with a remote control. You just do it from the remote. You see it's twinkling, color changing, and you can choose how you want it. If you don't want it on at all, switch it off. It looks like a standard roof. Switch it back on. You can choose how bright it is. Really, really nice. But I have to say, I think this is one of my favorite colors right now. This turquoisey color, really nice. So now let's get this installed into the car.